Hi everyone, I'm Jen Barlow and welcome to Bloombox. We are here today to work on the Teacup Bouquet Party Pack that you ordered. This is the Party Pack bouquet. I have to tell you, we have live flower arranging classes that we do every year as well. And my Mother's Day teacup bouquet and my Thanksgiving dinner table bouquet are the two most popular, and I get all kinds of mother-daughter combinations that come in to do these party packs. So hopefully you're with your mom, your grandma, your sisters, your best friends, and you can have some fun putting this together. So the first thing we need to do is check all of your material against the ingredients list that's in your box. Now, you're going to have 4 sets of everything, because minimum 4 sets. The party pack comes in a quantity of 4. You may have 6. You may have ordered some extras, so that you had enough for all the people that were coming. But minimum, you're going to have quantity of 4 of everything. So I'm going to move the extra stuff out of the way so we can just focus on one of the arrangements and just make sure everybody's got what they need to work with. Okay, so the first thing we need to go over are the wood flowers that are in your pack. These are flowers that are made out of wood. I don't make them, I buy them. And some of them, they're a little fragile. Some of them may need to be fluffed and the petals kind of spread out a little better. We do that before we pack them up, but in transit they can get a little bit smashed. So the way you want to do that is grab a squirt bottle with water in it and just lightly get a squirt bottle that works and just lightly spray the top and the bottom very lightly, and then the petals will be pliant enough to where you can kind of fluff them out and make them shaped however you want them to be shaped. The anemone looking flowers are fairly easy to do it to. Your daisy looking flowers, a little more delicate, but still same concept. Just kind of fluff it out. Okay, I am gonna play with this one just a little bit, pull a couple of bent petals off. There we go. Okay, so these wood flowers, just so you know, moving forward, we love these wood flowers, and they can be dyed. In this arrangement, we're keeping them their natural color, but they can also be dyed just using craft paint and glycerin. And I'll probably do a video at some point about that, on how to dye them, because we really are a fan of these flowers. Okay. So you have 6 wood flowers each, and I'm going to take my cup off of the plate just so I don't tip it over and break anything. The first thing you want to do, I'm going to put this example in here real quick. The first thing you want to do is get your green Caspia. You've got 2 different shades, kind of greenery framework in place first. And then we're going to start placing the wood flowers and work our way down. So take out your Caspia. There's olive green and dark green. And we gave you 2 different colors just because the color differences do add texture and depth to the arrangement. So go ahead and get those out of their packages. And your olive Caspia tends to be a little more open. Your dark green Caspia tends to be a little more upright. Okay, so one of the things when you're working with Caspia, I keep my wire cutters, my pruners, everything in my apron. I usually put your glue tabs in my apron, otherwise they get lost under the debris, and my pokey stick in my apron. Okay, so with the Caspia, we've got one stem of Caspia here. This one stem is going to actually be multiple pieces within the arrangement. So if I take it and I cut it down at the base where it meets another branch, now I have two. And then I can do it again where it meets this branch. Now I have three off of that one stem. Okay, and just do that as you go. You don't have to do it right away because you may end up wanting a big long piece somewhere. So I'm going to take one of my dark green pieces, and it's more upright. I'm going to stick it in the little bit off center, kind of towards the upper left corner, at a slight angle. Okay, and we want to alternate the different colors of green throughout the arrangement so that we get that depth. So what I'm doing now is just creating the framework that everything else is going to be within. I decided that piece was a little too tall, so I'm gonna make it a little shorter. Okay. I'm going to do that to all of these, it looks like, that I just cut apart. Just work your way around and get your framework in. Okay, so you can see we got kind of our framework of greenery spread all the way around. And I did put some smaller pieces down inside the side of the floral foam down towards the bottom to kind of give it that spray feel. Okay. All right. The next thing we want to do is work, and I keep poking myself, put poker side down if you have an apron on so that you don't poke yourself. The next thing we want to do is work with the blue status. So the blue status is really what gives it its kind of pop of color. And you're going to have several pieces to work with. But again, just like the Caspia, one stem doesn't mean one piece. So if you cut down at the base of one of the stems above another bud, now you have two pieces to work with. And I tend to put the bigger pieces, the longer pieces, towards the center and then use the smaller pieces around the outside edge. Okay? So, keeping in mind that we're going to have wood flowers that we're going to stick in here as well, I'm going to give this pop of color. I'm just going to focus on the top part right now. So I want to give that pop of color in 3 different places around the center top at different angles at different depths. Okay? Kind of like that. Okay. I let this one a little more vertical, a little more upright, because I know that I want to put one of my bigger anemone flowers right there. Okay? All right, so let's do that right now. Take the flower that you want to be towards the center of your bouquet. And I'm sorry, these were already cut for me. Not sure why that happened, but wire cutters will just cut the stems to whatever length you want them to be on the wood flowers. Okay, so I know that I want one of my wood flowers to be right about there. I'm going to stop there with the wood flowers until I moss in. So we have towards the center a lot of open space. And we don't want to fill it with moss completely yet because it'll be hard to get the dried material through the moss. But in this center area around that one wood flower, I'm going to go ahead and moss it in. So this is the messy part. Just pull out your moss and just kind of break it apart a little bit. And this is natural sheet moss, so you know they got it off the floor of the forest or the woods, and there'll be twigs and stuff in it. Just throw those apart. I found a nut shell in one of my batches the other day. Okay, so take a little tiny section of your moss and just kind of drop it in there around the base of that one wood flower. Then take your poker stick. I take the flat end and push it down into the moss a little bit. Just around that one wood flower. We just want to fill that gap in that one area right now. And that's so when you're looking down on top of it, you don't see floral foam. Okay. Make sense? All right. Okay, so we've got my one wood flower in there. I'm feeling like I have 6 flowers, so I'm gonna kind of spread them out around here. I feel like I need a little bit more Caspia in here to fill the space around this one. So I'm gonna take a little more of my Caspia, and you just kind of work it as you go, working from the center down. And just kind of fill the gaps. Be sure you alternate between the dark green and the olive green. I just put olive green next to olive green, and that makes it kind of boring. Okay. Move on to your next wood flower. I'm going to use another anemone right about here. Then I'm going to use one of my daisies. A little bit bit of debris in there. Okay. And just spread them out around the arrangement, whatever way pleases you. And the beauty of this is everybody's is going to look a little different. Some people like them tight, some people like them airy. I change how I like them based on the mood I'm in that day, and that's okay. Okay, there's that. I got 2 more to go. So I think I'm going to take this one out and move him over a little bit so I have a little more room for my last one. Okay, so that kind of gives you the framework of the wood flowers. Now, we do need to fill in with more Caspia and more Status. Any place we have a gap, kind of like here, right in here, and that might be kind of it. So we're going to do those little itty bitty pieces right now, and then we're going to moss in another round and work our way down with the moss. Okay, so I said that I had little gaps. I have one right here, and I've got a lot of olive there, so I'm going to add a piece of the dark green in there. That's better. And right here, I'm light. I have dark green there, so I'm going to add a piece of olive. And that one's not short enough. If you run into a place where you've got a little knob from a stem, try and cut that off. That's just going to hang up on other material when you go to push it in and make it difficult. Okay. Okay, my last place that I feel like I'm light is right here. And again, I have 2 dark green pieces, so I'm going to use olive to fill that gap. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna moss in from where we mossed before to about the edge of the floral foam. Okay, no sense in going over the edge because we're gonna use glue to glue that edge in. All right, so go ahead and moss some more in. Okay, so we are all mossed into the edge or the corner of the floral foam. Okay, so now I want to take some more of my Status, my blue accent Status, and I want to add some along this bottom, we're going to call it row, to give that blue color down lower. So again, cut pieces off the main stem to give you the size pieces you want. Okay, I'm going to stop there with the blue. I think that's enough blue, and I've kind of got it going along the bottom edge, spreading the color out. The next thing we want to do is add, whoa, I just dropped it all. Hold on a second, guys. It slid right out of my packet. We want to use our natural Crispidia. So these are the flower heads of Crispidia, and this is their natural color, this yellow. So we don't have to worry about getting dye on our hands or anything else. I use a lot of purple Crispidia and green in other arrangements, and that will leave dye residue on your fingers. So we're good to go here. We want to take, these have pretty sturdy stems, so we want to spread the yellow balls throughout, but they have a sturdy stem, so we can get through the moss that we've already put in there with this Crispidia. And you may want to just leave it like this. You may not want the yellow mixed into your bouquet, so just do whatever works for you. I'm going to add the yellow accents. Use as many or as little as you want. And I do them at different depths as well. Some I'll leave, further out to the outer edge. Some I'll stick down in deeper into the bouquet. Okay, so I have my Crispidia all put in there. I didn't end up using all of it. I think I have one left over. Now the final touch before we moss in the edge is your white bleach ruscus. Okay, so you might have multiple stems. You might have a single stem like I do here. But the way you want to use this ruscus is to snip off an individual branch off the main stem. And you'll need to cut some of the lower petals off so that you've got a stem you can stick into the floral foam. And I use this ruscus just as kind of an accent along the bottom to bottom third of the arrangement, just to give it a different texture. Again, just like the Crispidia, you can use it or you cannot use it. It's completely up to you. I feel like this one has gotten pretty full pretty fast, so I'm not sure I'm going to use all that much of my ruscus. But it's there if you want it. Okay. All right. Now it is time to moss in the edge. So get all of your remaining sheet moss out and kind of break it up into smaller chunks, because this is where we're going to use the glue tabs and your poker stick. And the glue tabs can be a little tricky. So there's one edge on these that does not have glue, and you want to pull it up from that edge. And then you're going to take a piece of your sheet moss and push down the glue tab onto that piece of sheet moss. Grabbing the edge that doesn't have the glue, go ahead and pull the paper up and leave the glue behind. Okay? Now you've got glue on the back of your sheet moss, and you can stick it along the edges. Somebody didn't glue my floral foam down, so it's moving around on me. So you want to take that glue and stick it on the actual floral foam and use the flat end of your pokey stick to push it in. And that'll hold that in place along that edge. Okay, so just do that all the way around using your glue tabs. Okay, once you get your edge mossed in, you are done. So as I was mossing in, there were spots where I could just tuck the moss in between the floral foam and the edge of the cup and didn't have to use the glue. So you're free to approach it with that method as well. But here is your finished teacup bouquet. I hope you guys enjoyed this process. Thank you so much for your purchase. Please feel free to go onto the website and give us any feedback or information you feel like we should have using our Contact Us page, or you can leave comments at the bottom of this video. We have many different individual arrangements on the website, as well as more party packs. So if you decide you want to do this on Mother's Day or a birthday or something with your mom and your sisters or any of your family, jump back on the website and purchase it again. Thank you again. Have a great day.